Hi guys, SplatterTrigger here, and today I'd like to discuss mobile gaming. As you can tell by the title, I'm going to be focusing on the iPhone. I'm not leaving any Android users out of the mix here. It's just that I don't have an Android-based phone. I have an iPhone, which is right here, and I wanted to discuss some of the games on there. As you can tell, in this day and age, these mobile phones are turning into game systems of their own. Even though a lot of purists won't recognize them, it's still kind of a debate. In my opinion, though, they are game systems, among other things, but they have a nice collection of games out there for these mobile devices that are pretty damn top notch, and I'd like to discuss a few of them today. Now, with the iPhone in particular, a lot of people feel that one of the biggest qualms against in the gaming side of it is the touch directional pad, which can take a lot of getting used to. It works for some games it does not. Many people out there, best example I can probably throw off the top of my head is if you purchase Ghosts and Goblins from Capcom. I personally believe it handles terribly with the touch directional pad. But some games really make up for it. Premier amongst these, the cave shooters. So today I just wanted to go over a quick 5 games off the we'll just discuss, and hopefully you guys can throw in some of your favorite games that you have on your touch phones. So today I'd like to just give some recommendations to any new people who are newer to the iPhone or are looking for some quality games. Now I'm not going to be showing any game footage here, I'm just going to be discussing them per title. Now everybody knows about Angry Birds, or if you don't, you've heard about them at least. For a 99-cent game, it's pretty quite enjoyable in my opinion. I like the puzzling aspect of it. It doesn't get redundant to me, and it's just a lot of fun. Now for some of the older gamers here, there is a Capcom game arcade on here, which has some classic titles in it. Per se, you download the Capcom app, and then there's like 6 games in the arcade, like 1942, Street Fighter 2, just off the top of my head. And these are actually real ports of the original arcade games. And the deal with this particular program, in one way, it's very unique because you get 3 free plays a day, and then thereafter that you pay to play, or you can purchase like the arcade inside the game room itself. Some of the games handle well. I particularly found that 1942 handles pretty well in my opinion. I found that Street Fighter 2 does not. In keeping with the Capcom side, they also sell straight up games themselves. Like I already mentioned before, Ghosts and Goblins, the Ghosts and Goblins 99-cent original iPhone game, I feel does not handle very well. Also, Mega Man 2, I feel also handles very terribly with the directional pad. However, Street Fighter 4 is a blast. I was so surprised at how well this game handled on the iPhone. Also, in the retro gaming front, Hudson or NEC has a TurboGrafx app which you can download, and you'll pay $2.99 a game and you get to play free 10 minutes every day. I only purchased one game out of this particular arcade room or whatever you want to call it, and that would be Soldier Blade. And it did take a good little bit getting used to with the touchpad again, but after a few tries it flows seamlessly for me. So anybody's looking at that, I suggest you at least check out Soldier Blade. Like Bonk's Adventure, Victory Run, and Ninja Spear. I don't know how those handle yet. I haven't tried them out yet, but eventually I will. We'll see how the rest of the games in that specific app take off. Now another company that's put out some decent games on the iPhone that I've tried out is namely Taito. I was introduced to Space Invaders Infinity Gene on the iPhone, even though I know it's been on the Xbox Live Arcade. And I've also got it on Xbox Live Arcade after the fact. And I gotta say, the iPhone version for me I find much more enjoyable than the Xbox Live Arcade. So if anybody's looking into getting themselves a decent shooter, especially with its classic feel, and it's really well done. The music in it's incredible. I highly suggest that out. Also, Taito just also re-released Bust a Move for the iPhone with a few different tweaks, and I find that handles very well as well. And I suggest anybody to go check it out. If you got free trials, check them out. Just if there's not a free trial for it, go out and look on YouTube for them. Check out a video, see if you like them or not. Now, Square Enix is also a big contender on the iPhone these days. They have a couple of Final Fantasy games. However, I did Out of all the Square Enix games, I actually purchased, the only one I purchased thus far is Secret of Mana. And at first, it was another game that I absolutely hated the virtual D-pad. And after about 45 minutes into the game, it grew on me. I was able to figure out the aesthetics of it. I found it handled very well. The D-pad still is, I handled it better. The D-pad still is a little too touchy for my opinion, but I've gotten used to it. And for $8.99, if you guys have never tried Secret of Mana or you old school purists, go ahead and check it out. There's a lot more artwork in there. I'm only about 2 hours deep into it so far, so I don't know what other extras have been included in there. However, sadly, multiplayer is non-existent. And in the Super Nintendo days, Secret of Mana, 3 players, I mean, that was unheard of in an action RPG at its time in North America. It's sad to see that go, but what are you going to do? It's still a fine port, though. And to wrap this little iPhone game app love up, you guys out there who follow this channel know I'm a big fan of shooters, shmups, whatever you want to call them, bullet hell games. And I've got to say, my favorite iPhone publisher right now is Cave. If you guys don't know about Cave, Cave is a Japanese company that specifically deals in creating shooters. And they've basically taken the term bullet hell and run with it. They've created very quality, cartoony, bright, beautiful looking shooters, hard as hell. And they've made some ports for the iPhone. Namely among them are DoDonPachi Resurrection and ESP Galuda 2. Now, I'm going to start off with ESP Galuda 2 because there is a version that was originally released on the Xbox 360. I find that the iPhone version handles much easier, but it's also a lot more fun to me too. I feel like a person who doesn't, who's really not into shooters, can try this game out and pick it up very easily. You can change the difficulty level, but let's say normal versus normal on the Xbox 360 is vastly different experience. I just think the touchscreen allows the ship to handle a lot easier. DoDonPachi Resurrection, which is also another, obviously, shooter, is incredible. It's got an awesome soundtrack to it. Handles very well. That is by far my most played iPhone game right now. I can't put it down. I'm playing this thing every day, and I've beat it so many times. But I can't put it down. I love it. Cave did a wonderful job with these ports, and I'm glad to see that they're getting recognized in a different format. Just besides just having to import all their games, since rarely are they ever released here in North America and abroad. Now, the last Cave game that I can't pass up talking about is a game called Mushi-Hime-Sama Bug Panic, which is based off the Mushi-Hime-Sama series. It takes the main character, Princess Riko, from the Mushi-Hime-Sama series, and it's more of a top-down, like 3/4 isometric view, and you have a directional pad where you're running around like an overworld. That is the best way to explain it. You just toss bombs all over the place. It kind of handles like Smash TV is the best way I can explain it, correlate it to. It's a fun game. At times it can get very hard. The controls on it are not as well as the other Cave games, but it handles very well. With all that being said, I would highly suggest just 5 titles. If you want to check it out, check them out on your iPhone. If you have been living under a rock somewhere, I would suggest Angry Birds, Chair's Infinity Blade, Cave's DoDonPachi Resurrection, and though I haven't mentioned it, a phenomenal sim called Game Dev Story. You guys are going to love that one. And Street Fighter 4. So hopefully this helps you guys out looking for any new games to pick up or to check out on your iPhone or even your Android. But guys, I hope this was informal to you and hopefully helped it out, because all I know is I'm loving my iPhone. I can't put this down lately. It's just games for me. So take care, guys. Thanks for watching, and by all means, game on.